straps I'm using today are by Buckle Down Products. The one I'm wearing is a blue and pink flame, but my favorite is this monster themed strap. They have over 90 different choices on their website as far as different colors and graphics, so I'm going to leave a link in the description so you guys can check them out. Hey guys, welcome. Chris Cox here for another guitar lesson. Today we're going to go back and do Def Leppard. We're going to go to their third release, which was Pyromania. So this is going to be Photograph, which was a huge hit for the band, and the album, this was, Pyromania broke the band. It pretty much launched them to being an arena act. And, if you think about Pyromania and all the bands that released albums after that, they all were influenced by Def Leppard, whether they realized it or not. Those, amazing melodies and hooks, all the guitar layering, that big, giant, huge backing vocal, and all the songs. So they had a lot to do with that 80s metal sound, and definitely deserve to be recognized for that. So as far as tuning goes, we're in standard tuning today for the lesson. However, if you're going to play along with the record, you may have to adjust your tuning and do some fine tuning a little bit, because it's not exactly the standard. And I think I've mentioned in other lessons, back in the day when they were recording on tape, depending on how much space they had available to record to make everything fit on the record, sometimes they had to either slow down or speed up the tape to make everything fit properly. So let's get started. Def Leppard, Photograph. So your fretting position is going to be the 9th fret of the D and G. You're going to play this chord, these two strings together. You're going to do 2 down strums. Now you're going to lift up your ring finger and you're going to grab the 8th fret of the G and do, and that's going to be 3 strums. So we have lift up. Now we're going to come here and play a perfect 5th. This will be considered an A5 chord or a power chord, and that's going to be 7th fret of the D, 9th fret of the G, 2 down strums, and then you end here on the 7th fret of the D and G, and you do a little rocking, a little vibrato there. So it sounds like this. That's going to be played a couple times. When the drums kick in, you're just playing this. So you're not, kind of holding and sustaining off here on the 7th position. You're just back and forth. That goes through several times. This is where the vocals will start. And then about halfway through that verse, we do this. Okay, so same riff we learned here in the beginning, but just doing the... We're going to slide into this A5 chord up here in the 2nd position. So that's going to be an open A and then the 2nd fret of the D. And then we're going to slide back down to the 7th position and grab that chord, up higher on the neck, and this is the same chord. That's going to be 7th fret of the D and 9th fret of the G. So it sounds like this. Now, when we come back and we're doing the second part of that verse, if you'll go ahead and grab, like you're going to be playing an E5 power chord, so that's going to be 7th fret of the A string, 9th fret of the D, 9th fret of the G, and we're just going to do this, same riff. Over that in a second. So we're just adding that 8th note, which the second guitar player would be doing anyway. They're basically underneath that So that would be the other rhythm guitar part. But so this, if you are a single guitar player and you're playing this tune, that just kind of helps thicken it up a little bit, and it allows you to cover more area. So it's so this would be, I guess, considered the pre-chorus. So from there, we're going to do a, and that's just going to be a down, up, down strum here on the E5 power chord. So that's going to be 7th fret of the A, 9th fret of the D and G. So it's, then we're going to shift up here to the 2nd position and grab the B5. That's going to be 2nd fret of the A, 4th fret of the D and G. So it's, then we're going to go slide back down to what we did earlier and grab that A5, just like we did the last time. So this will be considered, I guess, the pre-chorus. So it starts off with a 3 down strums here on the C5. So that's going to be 3rd fret of the A, 5th fret of the D. And then we're going to grab here. This is going to be, you're going to be fretting here on the 2nd fret of the A, and you're going to be fretting on the 3rd fret of the B string. But we're not going to be playing the D. We're just going to be playing this, those 3 strings. So the A, G, and D. But if you lay your finger across, that'll mute that D so you can get a... Okay, another way to play that, we could augment this chord. So we could go and then just slide the 1st finger down a fret onto the 2nd fret of the A string, and then you keep your pinky finger here on the 5th fret of the D and do a, either one will work fine. Then we go from D to A, and we go D, A, and that's going to be a slight bend on the 3rd fret of the E, back to the A. So the D is going to be open D string. We're not going to play this full D major. We're just going to play these first 3 strings. So it's going to be open D, 2nd fret of the G, 3rd fret of the B. So we, and that's going to be, so you hit that D, and then you're going to grab that open A, and then hit the chord, and then you're going to do it, and then repeat this again. Then we're going to do a, so that's where we grab that augmented chord there and play. Everything repeats. And again. So after we come out of that, we're going to play this. So this will be the chorus. So it starts off, and you're going to be into lots of muting down here with your palm, because if you know, unless you switch it to a clean channel, which on the record you can hear that, you know, that part, that melody is played kind of clean. But most like, you know, I know when we used to play it in a band, I just would just turn my volume knob down just a little bit so I wouldn't have so much gain. So just clean that up a little bit. So you're going to be fretting here on the 2nd fret of the A and playing the open D and G. So we have, and now, you know, and then we're going to go, that's going to be 3rd fret of the G, 2nd fret of the D, and open G. So we have, shift that same position down 2 frets and do, that's going to be 5th fret of the A, 4th fret of the D, open G, and then we're going to go, so that's going to be grabbing the, your first finger is going to stay where it was, but we're going to grab the E note here at the 7th fret of the A and play E, 4th fret of the D, and then open G. So the G string's always open, so it sounds like this. it again. But we're going to switch it up. We're going to come here first. So we're going to go same chords we learned earlier. We're just switching it up instead of going. Let's change this up next time. Then we end as it resolves here. Holds that, and then that's where the first guitar fill, I think this is the only guitar fill where we're going, and we're just sliding into this C note here on the G string. So basically, so you pick and slide into the 5th fret of the G, and then end with some vibrato there. And then we're back into what we learned before. Just like before, into the 2nd verse. Nothing changes. I'm just going to play it through. It kind of puts it in a musical context that way. Back to the chorus. This is where basically the guitar solo would start. We get back into that main riff. So I'm going to show you what the rhythm guitar is doing underneath the solo first. So we play that same riff again. Solo starts here. Then we go up to the A5, so same thing we've already learned, but this is what's underneath the guitar, so we're going to so it's going to be the E5 to B to A, so that's E to B to A5. We learned those earlier, and then he does that a few times. Goes back into the pre-chorus, what we learned earlier. Back into the chorus. Pause right there and you get a and then we just play that same chorus riff all the way to the end of the song. Okay, so we're getting into the guitar solo. So the first part is just hitting the open E string and doing a little bit of a dive bomb with the whammy bar. So it's, and then let it come back to pitch. And then you're going to grab this E note here on the 9th fret of the G. So you're going to slide into that. And then you're just putting vibrato on that. Just hold it, one pick. And then you're going to come down here to the 15th fret of the B. And you're going to bend up to this note, which is also an E. So you're going to go. And then once you get it up there, you're going to do, some vibrato. And then you do a. And that's just going to be a full bend here on the 15th fret of the B. So we do. And then we go 15, 12. And then do a full bend here on the 15th of the high E. And then, of course, once we get it up there, we stop it. So let's play what we have so far. Okay, then we go to here. Let's talk about that. So we're right back to that E note again, and we're picking that same note a few times. I think like 3 picks. So yeah, 3 picks on the E note of the G, 9th fret, and then we go, and that's going to be 11th fret of the D back to the 9th fret. So it sounds like this. And then it goes, repeats again, and then we do a bend here on the 11th fret of the G. So you have this lick. So that's going to be 9th fret of the high E to the 12th fret of the B, and then you're going to pull off from the 12th fret to the 9th on the B. And then you're going to be here on the 11th fret of the G. So it's, repeat that again, and repeat it a 3rd time. So it's back to the 9th fret of the B, and then you do this. So that's going to be 12, 11, 9 on the high E, and then 12, 9 on the B. Back to the 12th, and then you bend up again. Then we have this. So that's going to be a full bend here on the 14th fret of the high E. So we do 2 full bends. Let's play that again. And that last part is just from 12 to 14 back to 12. So it's 12, 14, 12. Then we have this. That's going to be 9, 11 of the G to the 9th of the B. And then we're going to do 9, 10, 12 on the B. And then we're doing this. So that's going to be 12, 14, 16. It's going to be played twice. If I can play it right. That's the hard part, is grabbing here on the 17th fret of the high E and getting that bend. So that's a little tricky there to jump to that. So let's play the whole solo slowly so you can see it all the way through.